So today is a makeup video. So today's look is a sort of glitter halo eye. This was using the Eyelash Cosmetics. These are their new Galactic Glitters and this one is in the shade 02. Again, this look was fairly easy to create, not that difficult whatsoever, and it's really fun as well. So if you guys want to know how I got this look, this on my face, then just keep on watching. First things first, I'm going to use the Vitamin E Skincare Hydrating Mist. This is from Superdrug and I'm just going to spray this all over my face. Just a nice generous amount of that, and then I'm going to leave it to sink into the skin. I'm now going to move on to primer. This is the Ordinary High Adherence Silicone Primer and I'm just going to put this in the T-zone just to sort of blur the pores and mattify the skin as well. And then I'm going to pat whatever's left over just underneath my eyes. I'm going to go in with a second primer today. This is the Jecca Blac Glow Drops. These are in Rose Pearl. These are a highlighting primer and I'm just going to put these on the tops of the cheekbones. These don't make your skin look super greasy or anything like that. They are fairly natural. I'm just going to apply them right to the tops like that and then blend them out with my finger. Because I've got oily skin, I'm going to make sure that I don't put these in the centre of my face. I'm going to put a little bit just on the tip of my nose. Just there like that, but that's the only place I'm going to put them. I'm not going to put them like on the apples of my cheeks or anything like that. Now I'm going to move on to foundation. I'm going to use my hair is everywhere. I'm going to use the Nars Radiant Longwear Foundation in the shade Stromboli, and then I'm going to mix it with a little bit of the NYX Bear With Me Tinted Skin Veil. This one is in the shade Vanilla Nude. So I'm just going to give them both a quick shake. And then I'm just going to mix them up on the back of my hand. So I've just picked some up on my sponge and then I'm just going to place it in the centre of my skin. And then I'm going to work the product outwards. So I'm going to move straight onto concealer. This is the e.l.f. 16-hour Camo Concealer and this is in the shade Fair Warm. This is going to be far too light for me. I'm going to put a little bit on the inner corner of my eye, the edge of my nose, and then just on the outer corner of my eye. And then I'm going to put a little bit on the chin, the cupid's bow, the nose and the forehead. Then just going to make sure that there's no creasing underneath the eyes, and then I'm going to set this with the Beauty Bakerie translucent powder, and the brush that I'm using for this is the Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH07. And then I'm going to go ahead and cream contour the face. This is the Makeup Revolution Fast Base Foundation Stick. This is in the shade F10. This stuff is just so easy to apply and blend out, and it's really creamy as well. So I'm going to apply this on tops of my cheekbones. Just right there, and then I'm going to apply a little bit just along the forehead, just along the top as well, and then a little bit on the chin just so it gives it more shape, the jawline, and then a tiny bit just down the sides of the nose. And then I'm going to take my Real Techniques Expert Face Brush and I'm going to take that hydrating mist we were using earlier, and I'm just going to use this just to spray the brush. Also, a tip when you're doing this is to just make sure that you tap the brush on your hand as well. Just that way you're not getting all that mist all over your foundation and your bronzing stick. And I'm just going to use this just to push it into the skin. After I've blended all that out, I'm just going to go back in with my sponge and then just make sure that everything is all seamless and there's no lines or patchiness all over my face. And then I'm going to take a little bit of the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder and I'm just going to dust this on the centre of my face. So the bronzer that I'm going to use is, I got this in a glossy box, let me have a look. This is the Aloha bronzer, give them Lala, I'm not too sure. It's in the shade Ibiza, it just looks like that. It's fairly warm toned, so I'm just going to use this just to dust over where I put that contour stick. Whatever's left over, I'm just going to dust that all on my neck and then just over my nose as well. So I'm going to go into my Revolution blush palette. This is in the shade Hot Spice, and I'm going to take this 5th shade just down here, and then I'm actually just going to mix it with a little bit of that shade next to it as well. And then I'm going to use this smaller brush here just so I can get more of a concentrated look and just place it exactly where I want it. So I'm just going to dust this along where I put that bronzer. And then whatever's left over, I'm just going to dust that along my nose. And then I'm going to go back in with that sponge and just make sure everything's all blended together. For highlight today, I'm going to use the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Opal, and I'm going to use this on a Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH09 brush. It's just like that last brush that I was using. It's just the Jaclyn Hill collection. And I'm just going to look into the mirror and see where the light naturally hits my face, and that's where I'm going to apply the highlight. If I was to apply the highlight higher up here, I'd highlight this pocket of fat that I've got in my eye. Just going to start to press that on. Then I'm just going to bring it up a little bit, just above the eyebrow as well. And then just a little bit on the tip of the nose and then the cupid's bow as well. So I'm going to take this Hydrating mist one last time, and then I'm going to spray the entire of my face with it, just so all the powders and everything melt together and melt as one. So I've just zoomed you in a little bit just so you can see more clearly what I'm doing. I've just primed my eyes using the PLouise eye base in 01. I'm just going to pat that out really quickly, just to make sure there's no creases. Then the palette I'm using today is the Beauty Bay EYN 5in Matte palette. I'm going to take the Morphe M441, and I'm going to first dip into Sincere. And I'm just going to use this shade as an all over crease colour. So I'm first just going to start at the outer edge and then lightly work it into the inner corner. I'm just going to take a little bit extra product and then start to focus it more in this inner corner here. So just where the socket of the eyeball is, right next to the nose, that's where I'm going to focus most of the product. And I'm going to sort of just drag that down onto that bronzer that we put on the nose earlier as well. And then I'm going to do the same thing just to the outer portion of the eye. So again, focus that product just there and then start to wing it out slightly. I'm then going to pick up the Morphe M433. It's just like a MAC 217 if you're familiar with one of those. And I'm going to go into the shade Cinnamon Bun. And I'm just going to use this to further deepen up the crease. So I'm just going to be a little bit more precise with this one and just go under that first shade that we used, but again making sure that I'm going in the outer portion of the eye as well as the inner portion and getting right in that socket. Sort of helps if you tilt your head back just so you can see where your crease is. And then just to make sure that everything's blended together, I'm just going to take that first brush with no extra product and then just go over where I've laid the product down. So using that same brush, I'm then going to go into the shade Cherry Cola and mix it with a little bit of burnt sienna. And I'm just going to start to focus this just on the outer portion here, so pretty close to the lash line, just like that. And then I'm going to go just on the inner corner as well, so just underneath where we put that last shade. I just want to warm the crease up a little bit more, so I'm going to take the Morphe M441 and I'm going to dip into Pumpkin Spice. I'm also just going to mix Pumpkin Spice with a little bit of Sunset as well, that shade in the middle. And then I'm just going to use this just to sort of dust it over the entire crease, just to warm it up a little bit. And then whatever's left over on the M443, the one that we use just for the inner and outer portion, I'm just going to run this along my lower lash line. So just for the centre part of the lid here, I'm going to take this Model Coat. This is a liquid metal eyeshadow and this is in the shade Champagne. So I'm just going to place this directly in the middle and then bring it up a little bit higher than I normally would. So just like there, and then I'm going to take my finger and then just start to pat that out. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the Lash Cosmetics, this is their Galactic Glitter, this is in the shade 02, it's a very nice gold, iridescent, loose pigment, loose glitter. I do have a discount code for those if you're interested, I will leave it on the screen. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some Duo Lash Glue and I'm just going to start to apply it where I put that liquid metal eyeshadow. And then I'm just going to tap some of this into the lid. And then I'm going to hold my sponge just underneath my eye and then start to press this on top of the glue. The reason I'm holding my sponge underneath my eye is to prevent any fallout. So after I've laid the glitter down, I'm then just going to take the Huda Beauty, this is their Lifeliner. I'm just going to take the liquid side and then I'm just going to very carefully draw the thinnest line just along my lash line. And then that's just going to make sure that when we put any eyelashes on the eye, it's just going to help cover up the band of them. So I'm just going to quickly throw on some mascara. I'm going to use the Maybelline The Falsies Lash Lift. Just going to do a light coat of that on both of my eyelashes. That sounds like I've just got two eyelashes. I'm going to do a coat of this on both of my eyes. So the eyelashes that I'm going to be using today are again the Ardell Wispers in 700. I just think these are really nice and fluffy and lightweight. So I'm just going to put some Duo Lash Glue on those, wait for it to get tacky and then apply them to my eye. So I'm just going to finish off the eyes really quickly. I'm going to take a little liner brush. This is the defining brush from LA Splash. And I'm going to dip into the shades Brown Suede and Cherry Cola. And then I'm just going to use this just to stamp it directly under the lash line. But I'm going to leave out just the middle portion here. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of that liquid metal eyeshadow. And then I'm just going to place a tiny bit of glitter over top. I'm also just going to place some of the black eyeliner in my waterline and then use some same mascara as I did earlier, just on my lower lashes. Okay, so after nearly 70,000 years, we're almost finished. So I'm going to move on to lips. I'm just going to zoom you out really quickly. So for the lips, I do have two combos? No? For the lips, I do have two options for you. So I do have more of a natural one and then I've got one that's like a more chocolatey colour just to go with all the browns and everything that's in the crease. So for the first one, I'm going to take the W7 Lip Twister in Very Nude and I'm just going to start to line my lips with this. And then for lipstick, I'm going to take the Revolution Bare Untouched lipstick and I'm just going to apply this over top. So this is the first lip colour. I think it goes really well with everything that's going on in the crease and it also sort of tones down the look as well. I know there's quite a lot that's happening right now. But yeah, I do think this lip colour goes really well. It's very nice, it's very subtle. And then for the second lip colour, this is the Revolution Lip Vinyl and this is in the shade Gone Rogue. So I'm literally just going to put this over top just so you can see how it is. So this is the second lip option. I think this sort of takes it from day to night, but it also goes with what's going on in the crease, especially those warmer tones on the inner and outer corner as well. So then this is the finished makeup look. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!